Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Daniel Knowles. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet on iTunes, check us out on iTunes. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, all around the world, and the podcast to bring you information for the chiropractic profession, and also mark your calendar if you have not. www.milehighchiro.org. August 17th to 20th, 2017 will be our next annual event, and anytime you're in Colorado, we'd love to have you join us at our Philosophy Nights, which are the third Thursday of every month out in Boulder, Colorado. Look forward to having you there or seeing you in one of those locations. And thank you for being a listener and hitting subscribe on one of those channels so you can never miss an episode. This episode is one of the episodes I am most ever. We have, I don't know if it's famous. We can go with one of Bill Decken as our guest, who is philosophy chair at Sherman College, was my philosophy instructor back in the day when I was a student at Sherman. And he runs the ACP program through Sherman College as well as IRAPS. And this is going to be a great episode that I know is going to be one of our most downloaded and people will enjoy. We're getting him just after his adjusting hours out in South Carolina. Welcome to the Mile High Podcast, Dr. Bill Decken.
Good morning, Danny, and thank you.
Thank you. And I'm talking about New York.
I hope so.
What'd you say?
That's a perfect team to explain chiropractic.
Well, I'd love that because I actually was born a year after the '69 Mets, so I missed that time. Now, first of all, before we get into the '69 New York Mets, let's talk about you a little bit. Tell people how you found your way into chiropractic in Sherman College.
Danny, I set off to save the world from pollution. I went to Marist College in New York, and I would graduate and live in the redwood forest and save the trees. Something clicked by the time I got graduated, so I started to get little things inside my head that maybe if we took care of people, the people they cared about. And what do you know? In college, back then, you think of healthcare, you think of medicine. So I started looking into medical schools. And I got to graduate and I needed to work, to earn a living. And I was in high school chemistry. And one of my students told me I practiced. And I said, "Oh, what chiropractic? I don't have reason." And she said, "Well, that's not a problem, Mr. Decken. I'll give you something to read." So she brought me in pamphlets to read about the nervous system and how chiropractic, in my interpretation of it, was a proactive healthcare field. Now, this really connected part of my life with who was an auto mechanic, and he taught me to take care of my vehicles so that they would always take care of me and not leave me stranded. So when I was reading the nervous system, a lot of my vehicles. So it was very interesting. But as life would have it, my life started. I quit teaching high school and do research. I realized pretty quick back and chiropractic term that she planted in my got me testing question. And I went up her dad. How do you know chiropractic? Who studied Columbia College with Reggie Gold down in New York City. And so we're about 90 miles city, so that's far away. And he said, chiropractic just it helps the body to have better nerve connections and things like that. I needed to find out. I went and talked He's over here. So he had a beautiful home office, and he showed me with his arm around my shoulder, big Italian fella, and he showed me out of the window his Italian, but did not know. So I very expensive. He said chiropractic afforded me the ability to buy this rock garden. Okay, that's nice. Then he asked, did I drive an apartment complex on the way out to his place? And I said, yes. I drove. I'm a part owner in that because of chiropractic. So chiropractic gave him the money to make investments. I thought, well, that's nice. And then he said, you're going to be able to help a lot of people. So, I knew nothing about chiropractic. He didn't explain to me. He's going more active than so. Dad, I went back to work for Texaco for 2 more years. But the bug came away. And so I decided I have to check this chiropractic thing out for myself. I visited a few schools, and I ended up using college. He ended up seeing and so I learned about college was ACP Program, and they included it on a college list. So I come down to Sherman and I certainly learned anything else. I went to Saudi Arabia, working whatever happened. Fun with that. I went over to the center, and Teresa Williams, and she checked my first test. I was asymptomatic, and I think that I can relate to asymptomatic people. I don't have a one practice in my life story, but over the course of lifetime, my life is improved, and I was and I just do that with students over the years that I've been teaching. Is just explain the simplicity, keep it simple for them to understand, and you too can get people coming in that just don't get for something what we learned. So it's been fun.
That's something interesting is that as I listen to you, it's kind of like those because of just because like sound sense, even though never being consumer, okay? Kind of the same way we want to take up starting to get just because it makes sense when it's explained in a pure, simple, logical way, whether they have something that's or not, right? So just because it's a good idea, it makes your nervous system
right. There's tremendous. The person you're checking doesn't need to necessarily understand that. You do. They just need to understand X and be good. They don't need the science of exercise. Eating vegetables is going to be good for them. They don't need the science of exercise or of eating nutritional food. And it's the same way with chiropractic. We can teach them about subluxation, the nervous system, and believe me, we should. But to catch the idea just make sense to them.
Right. Which is very important. Now, Now, how does that relate to the 1969 New York Mets?
Well, chiropractic is found some, we call them the 30 principles. We call them universal laws, universal intelligence, innate intelligence. You don't change those. That's the foundation for chiropractic. Baseball is also found as now were designed by man-created intelligence. When you take a slower, more can't run to first base or run to the outfield, you line up as a DH, right? Now you're starting to change rules of baseball, right? Which is why chiropractic should ever be an American League fan. That'll make a lot of friends. Like you growing up in the city, like the Yankees. But why are they changing the rules and allowing the but not the field? So to me, the National League is for rules of baseball. The equipment changed, just like our chiropractic section or our adjusting tables have changed. But the rules of chiropractic haven't changed. For those of us who understand chiropractic. Now, 69, we're not supposed to beat the Cubs to even get to the National League pennant. They were not supposed to simply beat. They got to the Orioles had 40 wins. They had the Hall of Famers in their batting order, so they were a team that we put together. And the Mets were like a minor team. They only been this thing, but they measure. How do you measure of an athlete when you're not a strong athlete? That's your difference between vitalism and we just look at the parts and say this team is this team because the C9 Mets came together and as an overall unit they performed more had hitting money or 189 lifting the team. And when there's proper coordination through the mission, I think you're performing. That's why before that's how we got some really great chiropractic analogies. I like the people here. You know, in the South, they're big Atlanta, and you know, won a lot of leagues in the 90s. Spasm, the World Series, and letting again, working on paper. They're great on paper, but they couldn't put it together when they needed to.
Got it.
So I don't make friends.
Hey, the secret is to have everybody, to want everybody to like you. Try to please everybody.
Right. So,
and that's one thing as a chiropractor. If you go into chiropractic wanting to please everybody, you're not going to do too well. Yeah, because you'll end up wanting to be doing all health care for people, please them, focus in on the thing that you potentially best at and potentially have the most unique and they can duplicate anywhere else. So
yes, the thing unique that is defined by what we consider a couple of places because it interferes with
right.
And if we could stay focused on that and just answer all our questions from that point of view, you're setting us up for ground.
So I want to ask how long philosophy Sherman?
I've been in the philosophy department about the whole time I've been there, which is about 30 years.
Okay, so
I've been chairman of the department probably for 10 or 12 years.
And before I want to end this, I even worse to chiropractic. Now, after years, I'm showing students this was when students is a particular one philosophical point that you see people struggle with, or it's hard for them to get.
They get the subject and they probably more with how do we allow intelligence to supersede our educated intelligence. That balance between innate and educated is tough.
Okay.
You know, and when you start talking about innate intelligence and what the body is naturally striving to do for us, and educated experience, or we usually class start evaluating some of their past choices, what their choices they'd want to make in the future, and that little nerve be a little bit stressful to a lot of folks.
And how do you help? What are some things to understand that or reconcile that?
I don't think it reconciles the process they have in the world. So it was that process started when that student in my high school history class challenged me to think, even though that's, and so that's where that student that and it comes together. I think for a lot of us, our first 5 years in practice.
Mm.
That's when, I think when it all comes together. Maybe sooner, 5 years that we practice. It's crucial together with people who are thinking the way you would like to think, because that's going to make it a whole lot easier for us.
Got it. Well then, now let's talk a little bit about the ACP program and what that is.
The ACP program was developed at Sherman because Palmer College, when years ago, I forget the years, they developed an LCP for people who wanted to face with chiropractic philosophy again. It's a one-year program, 100 hours or so, 120 hours, online, live meetings, to reconnect or learn first technical philosophy, the base of our practice, and it has the potential to change lives and affect the lives of the people we serve. Rob Sinnett heavily invested to develop a program at Sherman because life was starting to move away from, not life, starting to move away from offering their LP and eventually just did and because Rob at Sherman and developed the ACP. So we've done that in Europe. We've worked with the Bill Decken College, Eric Russell, and bringing it to New Zealand and Australia, and in many locations in the U.S. So who wants to take the ACP? People who've been practicing for a while take it, and they want more of a challenge to themselves. They want to take their game to the next level of thinking, of writing, of critiquing themselves. And we find people that have never had it in college, in chiropractic college, want to take it to learn the basics of what is this that everybody's talking about, or in certain circles talking about. So we have that mix, but essentially what we're seeing is where a person is, they want to up it. They want to up their game and go level. One big motivator doing that was I would look around and I would see very little being written from an academic standpoint about chiropractic philosophy. And so I wanted to try and create a venue where people could learn to write themselves, because I think that helps deepen their knowledge, both for the benefit of their patients or the benefit of the profession. You can find 2 journals from the Amazon. You can get them on Kindle and there'll be webinars coming.
And where is the ACP being offered currently or next?
Right now, we're in California and 2 locations. There's five live events total. So there's 2 in San Francisco, 2 in San Diego, and 1 will be at Sherman's Lyceum.
Got it.
We're putting out feelers now to see if we can interest a class. We try to get 20 per class that would take it on the East Coast. So that's a possibility for 2017. We'll wrap up California in October, and we would be looking for another course to pick up roughly when that one ends. We'll also start February with another one in Australia.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, the Mile High State would be a great place to have it. I'll just put that out there right now.
I agree. And there's some people in that area who've been through the ACP program.
Right.
The ACP program, and that would be a great location to try and bring some more chiropractors together to do that. And maybe we'll work together with you as soon as we wrap up California to get that going.
Yeah, that would be great. It's a great group of people. Now, on that note, so I don't know if it's different. Maybe it's the same. Classroom, students, Sherman College. Now you go into ACP, it's like it's mostly doctors in the field, right? There may be some students from other chiropractic schools, but mainly doctors in the field, I'm thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, if you think, what philosophical concept or construct do those people most struggle with? Is it the same or is it different?
I don't know that I would put all of them into one big category like I can do with students.
Okay.
A lot of them already have their ideas on what chiropractic philosophy is, and so they're fine-tuning that.
Got it.
Some of them are, really. I guess a really big thread is, why do we struggle so much getting the public to see what we have? And I think that's a big motivator for them. There's also a big interest in, how do we keep the profession on track with the philosophical principles and not get sucked into being neuromusculoskeletal ache and pain treaters.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that comes out in different ways and with each candidate, but overall, I think I could fit that in to one of those 2 scenarios. How do we reach the public, and how do we grow it in what the Palmers gave us, in that mentality?
Huh, that's interesting. So it's a different point of view that they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on different levels, and they take different points of view, but it's not just those 2 different.
Huh, that's very interesting. So, in with that, what are some of the things in terms of helping reach the public more and help the public get it that you help them with in that class?
We play in the classes. One was in the Northeast in Rhode Island, one last year that we finished up, and interestingly enough, the chiropractors are saying, I'm doing fine in practice, the ones who've been in practice a while, and they say, other practices are, when we get together for our luncheons and our local meetings, they're seeing their practices decline because insurance or whatever rule is. And they're all, what are we going to do to save our insurance? And the guy checking the spine, adjusting the subluxation, is saying, well, why don't you consider this? And so they're taking their ACP experience, their home groups, and trying to teach them some of what they learned in the ACP program to get these ideas out there and say, look, I've got an answer to why you think your practice is suffering. Consider this. And maybe you'll see that if you educated the people more a little bit about this approach to spinal care, with spinal hygiene, then you might not be complaining about your practice the way you are.
Right. And
that's a huge shift in thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing, also relative to what you just said about the ACP, what do you find is and how do you help answer that question of how we keep the profession on track or get it on track? 'Cause it's definitely not on track in the first place.
We have to realize that chiropractic is the philosophy, science, and art. You know, Sherman College just doesn't want to be known as a school that teaches chiropractic philosophy. They want to be known as a school that also teaches chiropractic science and chiropractic art. And when you put all of those together, then maybe you start to see chiropractic in a different light, and you start to see the impact that you can have when you give that chiropractic adjustment. This is why the IRAPS, which shows, which I know that you've been at and you've presented, and some techniques, but not all techniques, are showing up to show that, look at what we're seeing in our offices. All of the techniques should be there, saying, look, here's a guy that came in and he was given this kind of chiropractic care, and look how his life changed. We need to hear those stories about how science is measuring what the chiropractic adjustment does in other than a medical context. And to be, reading the Foundation for Vertebral Subluxation stuff, these are, I think, three areas. The philosophy, the Foundation for Vertebral Subluxation, and IRAPS are ways that you can tap in to see the full picture of what chiropractic can do. And until we have enough people that are willing to commit to this, we won't see it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, IRAPS is one of my absolute favorite events in chiropractic each year. And there's only a few that are my favorite. And it most certainly is on the list every year. And it's so interesting, so educational, and so well done. The work that all of you put in to get to that. People really need to, like, when they're looking at this, they're probably going to hear this this episode right around the beginning of the year. Put it on your calendar for the year.
Yeah, it's coming up in October. Early, maybe 8th, 9th is sticking out in my head, but around that time of October.
Yeah, and we'll put it in the blog notes. We'll put the date. But yeah, I'm 95% sure it's the October 8th weekend, whatever day that falls. Now, the quote that you shared is one of your favorite quotes. Is faith, focus, and follow through. Why is that?
It's how I try to live. It's like I have to have, for me, faith that I'm in the right place, doing the right thing, and what I'm called to do. That can be an intellectual process, but that can also be a heart thing and a faith thing for me. I put faith in a bigger context, my relationship with God, my purpose, that whole bit. That is my umbrella. I have to focus on what my job is as a chiropractor. Now, remember, I said that the big motive for me going to chiropractic school was to be my own boss. I wasn't cut out for the corporate world. Now, isn't that ironic? I've been teaching at Sherman for 30 years. So I'm a boss. But that was an immaturity of wanting it to be all about me. And once I really dug into the chiropractic philosophy, I then started to see the bigger picture and the role that I would play. And I wasn't the focus anymore. There was a bigger picture to focus on.
Right.
And we can't lose sight of that. So I'm focused on the spine and the subluxation when people come in, but I'm also focused on them as a person. Mm-hmm. And we have to communicate that. If we only communicate subluxation and we're forgetting that vitalistic communication of love and caring and empathy and all that, we're not going to connect to where they'll even hear us. And then follow through, which is probably the one I struggle with the most. I've got to go in and I've got to follow through on all the things that I want to accomplish and that I get really tired, Danny, because when I'm teaching in the class, I get all these ideas for the ACP for my practice. And when I'm in my practice, I get all these ideas that are great for the and so in my head, I'm always going back and forth. Focus, follow through, faith. You got to have all three of those.
That's good. And that will be a good thing for people starting out the year. Remember Bill Decken's 3 F's.
That's it. focus and follow through. That is a great start here.
Yeah, it is. It is. So that's great. Well, I want to tell you one. Thank you for all you've done in chiropractic for helping so many people get clearer on their understanding of chiropractic, so they can practice in their practices. I mean, I'm grateful for that in my life because the attending your classes at Sherman were incredible. I look forward to being part of the ACP, as I sure know a lot of people listening to this will be. So we'll also make sure people can find out where to plug into that. And then the last thing that I want to ask or mention is you mentioned about learning from you, learn who you are and be who you are. Let's leave people with that. Why is that important?
The biggest thing I've seen in 30 years of classroom contact with students is students who are trying to be the guy on the stage.
Ah,
And it burns them out, and they start to evaluate themselves as being less because I can't do what somebody on the stage did. And that's very dangerous. They have to realize what are they called to do, how they to do it, where are they. We can learn from all these other mentors, but we have to remain. Well, first find out who are we.
right.
Who are we?
Excellent.
Don't try and be somebody else.
Yeah, there's a reason you're not them.
Right. I'm a designated hitter.
well, thank
Field.
you. Go ahead. What you were saying? Don't be a designated hitter. What?
And go play your position.
And go play your position. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Well, very good. Well, Dr. Bill Decken, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and being with us on the Mile High podcast. Again, people, you'll see in the blog notes, if you've listened to this on your mobile device or something, go back to the blog notes and we'll have a link for the journal and the ACP program and IRAPS, so you can plug into those, because truly, if you want to have a deeper understanding of your philosophy, those are the great resources. And of course, we mentioned the Foundation for Vertebral Subluxation Research, which Mile High is focused on this year, is contributing and promoting that. So, because the work there is also very, very vital to our future. So, thank you for being part of the Mile High podcast. Thank you for being a listener and subscribing. We look forward to seeing you. Well, hopefully we see you at IRAPS. So if you listen to this, get plugged into that or Sherman Lyceum, and we hope to see you in August 17th to 20th at Mile High in 2017. It's our fifth episode. And by the way, on that, Bill, I just got word that someone close to Sherman College is going to be joining us. Yeah, it's kind of like Paul Revere's Ride. The Dooley's coming out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
That's all I said was uh-oh. So, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day, and keep changing lives with chiropractic and keep deepening your philosophical understanding. Like our page on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Mile High Chiro.